Yo, what up, good people? Welcome back to another segment of the Monday Night Crew. It's your boy K. Mims. I got Brittany Lewis, Princess of Asia. DJ J Double will be checking in with us here shortly, hopefully, but all is well that ends well, man. So I'm gonna start with something recent events, man. The culture won this weekend.
Oh God.
The culture won this weekend, man. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
I'm so
How y'all
tired
feel
of
about
this.
what transpired this weekend? I want to know would y'all help. Be real. Would y'all let jump out there?
No,
What?
Mm-mm.
no, man. I'm not fighting nobody, but I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have swam across.
Yeah, that was wild.
I need that type of commitment, though. I need the people with me to be goonish like that. That's what I need. Hey, did y'all know he was 16?
I know
Mhm.
now.
No, I did not know
As a
that.
kid, yeah, a little kid.
Yeah.
Lewis, what would you have done, brother?
I would have tried to. I think the first guy in the black came down to break it up, so I would
Yeah.
have definitely done that. But then I would have defended myself if I felt threatened at that point in time. And I'll leave it at that.
Hey, man, I ain't gonna lie. I, when they started jumping on, man, that was uncalled for, bro. I feel like we could defend that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we gotta get in there. I was just so happy with my guy with the chair, man. It's just a overwhelming feeling of what we've been through in a long time, just handing it out. And the best part was when when the person was on the ground, I think it was a lady was on the ground. Bye y'all. Went over there to her again, like, I'm gonna get you again. Hey, you know what? I'll take that arrest, man. Give me a lawyer. Give me a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? We been through some things.
See,
You know?
that was actually the only part though. Cause I was like, dang, we got the chair, we WWE in it.
Yeah.
But then when I
yeah.
saw, I'm not gonna hold you though, but when I did see that it was a lady, at that
Oh,
point,
that was a woman?
it was
Oh,
a
I take
woman.
that back. I'm sorry.
It was
I
a
take
woman that was on the ground, but my point was, at that point, I was like, where the shorties at? Like, what? They need to come on over there, and they
They
did though.
did. They did.
Yeah, they did.
They
Yeah, they
did.
did. Because at that point, I think I can't say I would have done the same thing, but I was happy to see that women jumped in the way that they did, only because the white women were doing that. And I have a thing where white women, they get in the middle of things, and then they're like, well, the black man hit me, and it's like, well, Susan, you should have moved. You shouldn't have been there.
Yeah,
So I was grateful that the black women, that they didn't let the black men just,
Sit there.
yeah.
Do y'all think anything is gonna come from it positively for real though? Or y'all think it's just moment in time? We're gonna talk about it the next couple of days and then the next incident gonna happen.
A moment
Try
in
that
time.
shit again.
I think they will though. I think they will though. They're just gonna have white hoods when they try it this time. So I believe I think. Hey Louis, you ain't speaking on it, bro.
Mm,
Why not? Why
mm.
not, bro? All right,
I'm
all
not
right.
speaking on.
All right, so tonight we have a great segment of all these scenarios are either DM to me or somebody told me in person to switch it up and ask you all's opinion. These are great ones. So we're gonna start real easy tonight. They're gonna show up as comments on the screen, but we're gonna we're gonna go with these. We're gonna start nice and easy. So this was the first one I got that I think is a good different change that we have. So somebody said, yo, what's your thoughts on career changes, if and when they should happen, and if it can be too late? I'll open that up. Because I haven't personally had a career change. So, but I thought that was a good question. I thought that was different from what we usually do. So what's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on that? Career changes, if when you should make them, if you should make them, when it's too late, what you should take in consideration, et cetera, et cetera.
I think I'm someone that kind of changed careers. I think it depends on the lifestyle that you want to live and who you're responsible for. I think you should be in a position to understand what it takes to sustain the lifestyle that you or your family may need, and then what it will cost you to get, or what it would cost you in time, or money, or in to maybe make that transition.
Sure.
And if that transition is going to be able to yield the resources to take care of the needs of yourself and others.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's no such thing as an age thing. I don't believe in that. I just think that you have to be able to understand the impact of what that career change can have, and understand what your needs are and how to meet those needs in the process.
I also think it has to do with like self growth, if you will, because a lot of times we hop into things where we just, because you make X dollar amount and it's good for you and your family right now, your current situation, but later on in life, you figure out like that's not your passion, that's not your calling in life. That's why a lot of people go back to school in their 30s, 40s, 50s, because they figure out, yo, this is what I want to do. It's never too late, never, ever too late. But also, I think it's good to kind of reflect on where you are as a person and what you want to do, what you're passionate about, because it'll make, going to work a lot easier. If you're going to work, they talk about it all the time. You're going to work every single day and you don't like what you do, then eventually you're just going to tap out, burn out, whatever that looks like. But if you actually enjoy doing something, or you hit a plateau, really, like you hit a plateau at work and you feel like this is not really your passion, or I can't go up from here, like I'm bored, or there is no levels of growth within the current career that I'm in now, I think it's good to go ahead and look for some change at that point.
So
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Princess.
That was Asia, right?
That was Asia.
Asia, that was you, Asia. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Asia.
It was me. No,
My
I was
apologies.
just gonna say, I think, and I guess because I don't have any kids or anything like that, so I'm like, if it doesn't serve you, it's like it's cool to move on from it. Just because I think when and it serving you could mean different things, right? So if it's not serving you particularly, if it's not serving you financially, like all those different things, I think it's okay to move on, because like Britt was saying, the longer you stay in it, if you're burnt out, if you're already hating having to go to this place every single day, everybody else around you is going to feel it. So like your family, they're going to feel it because you're just bringing that stress home with you. Like you're not going to want to hang out with your friends, or you want to hang out all the time as an escape. And it's like, all right, like we're not in high school anymore, in college anymore. So I think if it's not serving you, it's cool to move on.
For sure. I'll tap in a little bit and then we can move on. So for me, it's just been me being in education. I feel like if you went in longer than 5 years, you kind of get in a box. It's just hard for other fields to respect the skills that you've acquired while in education. A lot of times it just seems like you can only teach or you can only do that one thing, but you require so much experience and skills over the time, but you can't always write the skills down on a resume to move on. So with Lewis's point of the age thing, I believe in that creatively more than I believe in that career-wise. I feel like everybody hits a point in the career where it may not be worth the change. May not be worth the change. You know what I mean? I feel like if you get to a point where money's not a thing no more, then the change doesn't matter, then it's not as much pressure. But we all work hard to move up. And then when I hear career change, I think not even in the same field. Not like switch companies, not like, another position. But like we're not even in the same field no more. I'm going to do a whole nother thing. So I think you got to evaluate if your skills transfer and what that bread looking like. Because a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, I thought about going in the cubicle for a nice little price, but I don't think it will match where I'm at and who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So appreciate that. I ain't gonna say no names. Appreciate that person showing that love. Y'all ready for this next one? Yeah. All right.
I'm not ready.
No, we can be.
Yeah, it's long. Okay.
Yes. Y'all want me to read it out loud?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
hey y'all. So I've been single after a serious relationship for a while now. I've hardened my standards and red flags. I recently met someone via work and we've had a good conversation. He's in his 30s, no kids, and has a good job. We've been talking more and more. We've even started sending things on IG and TikTok. One day I decided to take a deeper look into his social media. I saw that he followed a lot of, I think that's booty. I know that's booty.
I thought it was bots.
No,
Yeah,
booty pages. And but I'll give context later. And the woman don't look like me. I immediately felt like it's a wrap. Am I tripping?
What?
Yes.
Yeah, she's tripping. He's
She
a
thinks
man.
it's a rap just because he's following women that don't look like her.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
give you the conversation. I'm gonna give you the conversation further to give. This is what was sent, and I'm going to say a little bit of what I said in order to give more context. So everything that said there, I asked some questions. She met this person. They were cool. They were vibing, and she said, "So how does social media reflect what type of person you are?" So seeing him follow a lot of booty pages of women that don't look like him, she felt like, yo, Lewis, chill, man. So following a lot of booty pages of women that don't look like her, she felt like, okay, he's not attracted to me. This can't work because you got other issues that you need to figure out. I'm going to hold what I said, but that's the more I got out of the situation. So
He
like,
just-
okay, go ahead, princess.
He's
I'm
just
gonna
a
move this because I
man.
can't see y'all.
He's just a man. He's just looking at some ass. That's all. That's it. If he is interested in you and he's attracted to you, even if you got a little booty matter. So it's okay. But I feel like every man they're gonna look at that. But that does not mean that they would not want you.
Does it matter that he's following them and looking at them? Does the follow? I'm asking.
No, I feel like it's shout. That's just like men follow all these, like celebrity models, IG models, all these influencers and stuff. They have nice bodies, like okay, if that's what you want to look at while you're scrolling, then that's fine.
But so what happens if he? Because if the comments right, if the double taps come, if he's following all these people, do you then, when you get into a relationship, are you then asking him to remove these things?
No, because I'm gonna like what I want to like as well. I want clarification on what's a booty page.
So,
Like,
so I can answer that because I said something back to this. It was just a lot of the pages were booty pages of a lot of shaking, showing of women that don't look like them. Y'all know those pages.
Did she give you names?
Yeah,
Whoa.
because are you saying like, are these like porn stars? Are they just like these IG celebrities? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who have nice bodies.
I don't have that context.
Who are always in swimsuits.
I didn't go that deep. The conversation I got from it was that they have this person follow a lot of booty pages. The women didn't look like her. It wasn't a lot of deep, because my argument was, and I'll put it out there. My argument was you can't judge somebody based off a social media follow. Like I get that they follow them, but that doesn't mean that that means that they have something they need to work on or something. Because my thing was, if he's single, my rebuttal was, if he's single, would you rather him follow a lot of booty pages or be super out here? Like, just say if that's the balance. Like, maybe he follow a lot of booty pages because he's trying to contain his sexual appetite in a way. And the reason why I said that is because I didn't understand how, like, you want somebody that's kind of reserved. Everybody has a sexual drive, but if he decides to handle it in that way, now he's getting knocked for not being out here looking crazy because he's handling it how he deserves it. Now he done lost you, like, not showing you what he follows.
I don't know. I think that's a little childish in my opinion.
Okay.
I think she's tripping. I don't think that she should let that deter her from pursuing it further if he's interested and if she's interested.
Okay.
I think that, because her question is, am I tripping? I think that she's tripping, but it's only because she would then be calling it a rap based on something that she's insecure about. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's if it is the booty pics, right? It's like, is it for her? It's like, dang, I don't have a big butt. You know what I'm saying? It's like, does he not like the fact that I don't have a big butt? And now she's making assumptions on like, and which really is like, well, he can't like me because I don't look like this. Right. And I think sometimes she's disqualifying the fact that people could have an on paper type, right? Sometimes they don't even end up with the person that's their on paper type because it's not always about what you necessarily want. Sometimes it could be about what you want and need, right? So it's like, in these women, it is sort of like a fantasy sort of thing, right? I feel like social media is a big fantasy world.
Right.
And so I think like that's why for me, and it's like, how would she even have that conversation? Like, hey, I went through all your followers and I'm noticing that, with all the women that you're following. And it's like, at that point, it's kind of like a,
You said it's just a cutoff?
It was a cutoff.
Oh, it happened.
Yeah. Oh, I asked a whole lot of questions. I just didn't want to present y'all with my conversation. So I just want to present y'all with the first thing.
I think she was tripping off that. I think she disqualified him based on something she's insecure about. And to be honest, she started it, in my opinion, the fact that she even looked through all his followers. And it's like, did anybody
just see this nigga press a button and lift up?
Yeah. Like, what?
Hey, okay, Lewis, with the slight table flex. Hey, press that button again, man. Be a show. Yeah, let him know, man. That's how you know we beneath him. Let me
I know,
bring
right?
something on these niggas real quick. My bad, bro. I was like, what is that, bro? I'm about to check my audio, and I saw this man's shoulder go
For
get
real.
higher. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Asia.
No. That's what I was just gonna say. I just think that she disqualified him. And to be honest, she even said that she hardened her standards and red flags. So sometimes when stuff like that happens, you're already looking for an out because like, oh man, it's probably not gonna work. Oh man, I haven't seen for so long. I probably can't even trust him. So it's like one of the first things is like, let me go through all his followers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like now everything's a red flag. It's like, I don't know. I think she tripping.
Mm-hmm. When you hard like that, you look for red flags instead of green ones. Like instead of accepting the green ones, you look for red flags, and then the first one that you see, you're out.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Because you're
Hey, Lil,
that's
what was
such
your
a
thoughts,
minimum
man?
with
Yeah.
everybody.
Say that again, Princess. I'm sorry.
I said because your trust is at such a minimum with everybody, every man. Like you just feel like he could breathe wrong, and you out of there.
Yeah. Lewis, what's your opinion on the booty follower?
I would like the names of these pages that she uncovered for research purposes. And the second part,
I hate him, yo. He is stupid. I'm gonna get him for you, bro.
all right, I appreciate that. And secondly, I think something Princess said that I really liked. I think we do too much checking for red flags, and we don't talk enough about what the green flags are.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like you said a lot. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like red flags is such a part of our language, but we should make green flags more of a part of the language as well. I think it is something very natural for men to do. Follow, I don't really follow, maybe because
Everybody check Lewis followers. Oh.
No,
Right.
I
I'm
follow.
checking when we get off. Don't worry.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. So what you have to do is if you go to the video page, you could just look at one and then you just scroll and then they populate. And then you can just every time you go, they just be the same. Whatever your interest is in that time.
Yep.
Yo, this man is
That's
4
what
pages.
Lewis is giving the cheat
So-
code.
Your
You don't have
For
to
You,
follow. They'll just pop up again. You'll
we
see
know
it
what
later.
your For You looks
when
like.
that algorithm starts sending them to your wife explore page, boy, you in trouble.
Yeah, because you're on the same Wi-Fi. I realized that. So, yeah, that'll happen. So you gotta take the Wi-Fi off.
yeah,
You gotta take the
boy.
Wi-Fi off.
Yeah, they
But,
said what?
Gotta
Gotta
take off.
take the
Gotta get off the
Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi off. and do it on the Wi-Fi.
This man, bro.
So
Wild.
that's true. I'm just being honest. But I don't think there's.
Hope
I don't
you
think.
watch this.
I think Asia's point. I think it is a projection of someone's insecurity onto someone else, and I think there's a way to have a conversation about that too, right? Like, you know, instead of focusing on what you think he doesn't like about you, maybe you should ask him what he does like, right? And then allow that to be the focus on how you guys establish a foundation in the dynamics that you want to develop or have in the future. So that would be my response.
So I'm going to ask a question. In the various arenas we are all in right now, how much does just meeting somebody, knowing somebody, I'm not going to specify that part. How much does how they represent themselves on social media matter to you? Like, I get we can step outside the booty page. Just say if the person you meet in real life doesn't really match the person you see online. How much does that play a factor in the judgment of that person? Does that question make sense?
Yeah, you just saying you don't like their social media presence, like, right?
It doesn't match what you get from them in real life, or it's not a proper representation. You feel like, would it play a factor in your decision making with that person, even if it's a friend, partner, somebody you're trying to date? If you go look, say, you know, social media is a reference point. You know what I mean? Like, if you see the reference point and it's not what you ain't really feeling the vibe, you weren't interested, you see, and it's just like, I don't know. How much can that deter you away from the goal? And I guess for married people, how much do you care about how your partner represents themselves and you on social media?
You want to be honest about this?
For sure. That's the only way to be. Authenticity and entertainment, baby.
Oh, how can I phrase this without getting in trouble?
Saying it.
Shut up, man. I'm not trying to give you views. So, but social media is a partial representation of what folks want others to see. My wife is an incredibly beautiful woman. But the pictures y'all see is not what I see every day. Just to be honest with you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's why I love her. It ain't just the social media and how she presents herself to the world. You know what I mean? And me, vice the same. So if someone is solely basing their desires of someone on a partial representation of themselves, I think it shows how shallow they are. Because who puts their whole selves on social media? Maybe they do. Maybe I'm old school. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm naive to think that some people will. But I don't think social media should be a true representation of someone in general. Because it'd be hard to put your full self constantly on display, the good, bad, and indifferent. Because you only want people to see this part. That's what social media is. You get to cut this piece of you out and present it to the world.
Hey, so let me ask a real question. Does that bother you?
What
you just said
about my wife?
Yeah.
No. I actually like that.
I wasn't being funny. I was asking.
No, I actually like that.
Can I clarify?
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
When you say what she portrays on social media is different than what you see in the house, are you saying that she's more conservative on social media? Is that what I'm understanding, or she's not?
No, I'm just saying like she dolled up and hair and everything is like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
But see, I see the woman.
Opposite.
I see the woman in her everyday glory. You get what I'm saying? I see the mom.
Sure.
I see her. You know what I mean? I see it all. So that to me is like, and that's not for the world either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't for everybody.
Yeah, lose his mind.
Yeah, man. That ain't for everybody. So, I think it's cool. Like y'all can look, oh, she hot. Yeah, she fine. But she a lot of other things too, that you don't get to see.
Mm-hmm. Touche.
I think that no, it's not important for me at all. I have friends, if you will, that look nothing like what they look like on social media. I'm gonna be honest, like nothing. Like, and my husband and I talk about it all the time. Like, yo, that's wild. That's wild. But I also, it comes to a point though that I don't like it, or I have to have conversations with certain people because I'm like, that's not really you. If you do it enough to the point where you start believing who you are on social media, that's when it becomes a problem. And I feel like that's where I'll judge you. That's where, yes, it is important to me because the person you putting on for social media is not, you're taking on more of that character than you are to like who you really are as a person outside of social media. So for me and my husband, like, no, I don't care if he posts me, if he doesn't, like what he looks like, what he doesn't look like. And we have that mutual understanding for each other. Sometimes we post each other, sometimes we don't. It is what it is. But for other people, even when it comes to friendships, I'm just like, that you don't live that lifestyle. If you're posting every week that you're out getting drinks or you're, I don't know, turning up every weekend because you want the world to perceive you as this party person, or I'm good by myself, but you're at home crying on the pillow because you really want somebody. I'm like, you're not going to attract the person you're looking for because you're only putting that out there for these people to see. Unless you're meeting homeboy in the grocery store, which a lot of the dating scene is not really that old school, like, oh, we meet on aisle 6 and he grabbed the grits for me. Like, no, it's social media, it's DMs, it's dating apps, whatever. So it is what you put on out there, and like that's not you. That's not truthful. So I don't know. I'm happy I'm married, but I'm also kind of skeptical for the people that are still dating. Like, how much can you believe when you do see it on the computer?
Yeah. I'm about to say sugar and salt. Hey,
Kenny, I got a question too. When you
go ahead, brother. Go ahead now.
No. Once we wrap this up, because it does have something to do with social media. I just want to put it out there so I don't forget. We don't have a chat, so I don't have anywhere to put it.
Okay, we do have one.
We do.
Okay. Yeah, you put in the private one. All right. Cool. So this is my thing. The social media. I'm be real. I think I just looked up. And honestly, as active as I am on social media, I'm not on it all the time. And my wife personally she barely posts. Like, she'll post our kids at me. I'll post our kids and at me and stuff like that. I think we looked up by how we came up. Like when we were in high school and in college and a super crazy, like when social media started to ramp up, we had already been accustomed to not posting all the time. Literally, if you don't mind me sharing, Lewis, like Lewis was just explaining how he went on a vacation. And he's like, I didn't even think to take a picture. I think that's instilled in us. Like, I don't think all of us think to take pictures, and even if we do, only some of them make it to social media. You know what I mean? Like, I think the way we came up, it wasn't always social media. Now, representation, like for instance, my wife went to the Beyonce concert this weekend, right? I was with my babies. She was having fun. Woo, woo, woo. I was gonna troll and be like, I'm with the two kids having a Keke Palmer moment. I was gonna do that, but I'm like, it was too sensitive. It was too because I wasn't being truthful, but it's funny because it made me think that's what happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I wasn't like, it wasn't me feeling that way, but it was funny because I really think social media becomes people worried about what other people think of their partner versus what they actually think about their partner.
Mm-hmm.
So when they put stuff out there, I know everybody got those family members that ask, like, hey, what such and such do? Like, hey, you see such and such to you, or they texting somebody else and they get back around to you, and you like, hey man, like, can we not do that? So I don't live in that world. I don't care enough about what other people think, specifically about things that you don't provide for at all. So I think we got to stop caring what other people think. It ain't even about us. All right, Louis B, what's your question, Brody?
So, what's she going? Man, I hope she don't see this. All right, so I told you I went out with my wife for her birthday. You know, I took my wife out for her birthday, right?
Okay.
So she posted a birthday picture, beautiful picture, right? A couple of weeks later go by, and I pull up. I was like, "Oh, this is a nice picture." She was like, "Yeah, you didn't even like it." I'm like, "I was with you. I financed the whole." Man. Like, what are you talking about?
Man,
you get what I'm saying? But I'm like, we have now, and even she agreed. She's like, I'm tripping. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, we got to a point now where, like, I'm literally with you, creating these moments and this experience for us to enjoy. And it goes to your point, Kenan, like, you're more so worried about how other people see how I embrace you in that moment, as opposed to the actual moment that we're in. Because I'm like, I'm with you. Why would I don't understand that.
Because she saw you liking the booty pics. That's why. And so she like, if they get a like, I get a like. Duh.
I don't like the booty pics.
But
I don't. I'm not stupid. She can see that. I just look at them for a certain amount of time.
Yo.
Do you think that she was really concerned about like other people and how they felt that you did or did not like that picture? Because I don't think it's that.
No, I think she just wanted the appreciation, like for you to comment.
Hype me up, babe.
She just wanted it to hype her up. That's it.
Hype me up.
You took her out, you financed it, you saw her look good in person, and now she just wants you to say it or like it or whatever.
Yep.
And I would even say
for her.
Yeah, and I would even double down because it's sometimes it's like when you have like a beautiful woman, right? And you're not hyping her up, but then you got other men that's also sliding in DMs or commenting on a picture. The question, well, for me, right, it's like they doing that, but my man couldn't. It's like, and even if he's right there, right, it really is one of those things of like, I think it's like come on, like the post.
I got you, but I'm right here.
I'm gonna tell you, Louis, I'm gonna tell you what works for you. Not that you've been right there, you don't really like nothing.
I don't.
So it kind of doesn't take it outside of your norm. So you don't really like nothing. So that would be a argument point for me. I'm liking that, bro. I just get what you want to know what specifically for if your lady doesn't get up there that much, the moment she gets up there is more important than like, so you gotta like it. You gotta show that public appreciation because she don't do it that much.
That's true.
And you don't do it that much. And the fact that you don't do it that much, when you do it, especially to your wife, it means 1,000 times more because you don't do it that much.
For sure. Yep.
But it's just another element. Social media has added another element in which we have to extend ourselves. And
is liking a picture really extending yourself though?
Yeah, I mean,
you just hit a button, like you saw the picture.
Let me ask you a different question. Hold on, let me ask you a different question. Did you see the picture?
No.
And just okay. All right. What was you looking at instead of the picture?
Our message board.
Our message board.
Our message board is
he's calling a message board.
Our thread of conversation.
Okay. All
right, listen, y'all. I mean, I'm being honest, man. I think it's just frustrating to me because it's like, you know how I feel about you. I give you that instant gratification in
So
person.
no funny. Do you know that? Do you know that she knows that? I'm not being funny. I'm being real.
I verbalize it. I verbalize it in the moment. I'm with you.
That wasn't my question. Do you know
All
that
right.
she knows that?
How is she not? I'm asking, and that's legitimate. How is she
So
not?
I've learned this in the game. It's like the text thing we talked about a couple weeks ago.
We've been married for 12 years, bro.
I've been married for 10. I'm with you. I
don't
got
get
you.
it. I don't get it.
Dude, so what you saying is, okay, so let it die. What you saying is let it die. You got to find another way to send the same message. It's not always going to be like, I'm with you. Oh my God, you look so beautiful. It may be the same thing, but your reaction is different. I ain't going to give no examples, but like, you got to know, like I get what you're saying, Lewis.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is, especially when you have that many years in the game, when you have those moments where nothing, so you said y'all went out for her birthday. How many times do y'all get to be isolated, out dating, no kids?
Not a lot. That's probably the third time.
So that means that you have to be on 20 for that moment, because that moment is not going to come again. Everything that happens in that moment, she's going to hold on to until the next one. So everything that she's doing, you got everything that happens in that moment has to be to 10. It can't be about, well, I just told you that yesterday. Nah, I'm gonna do it this time, and I'm gonna do it different, because it's like, damn, last time we went out, it was like X, Y, and Z. So you're proving your point the other way. So I get what you're saying, but you got to find that way to do different, because you don't have those moments often.
Next time, Lewis, you just gotta pass out. When she come out of the room, just faint.
I actually do that with my daughter.
Oh, that's so cute.
I do. I actually do that with her. That's beautiful. I got you. I will do that next time. And then I'll tell her to post it, and then I'll like that.
See, this.
Oh God.
Sure.
So I got a question. Do you care that she knows that you feel that way?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah, I just feel like it's unnecessary. I feel like I feel like it's unnecessary. If I didn't,
but you're not doing it for you. You're doing it for her. And the fact that she then brought it to your attention lets you know that it was something that she was thinking about for those however many weeks.
That's true.
But she didn't feel. We've talked about this, but she might not have felt. She probably thought it's no big deal for him. I don't really know if I should say something. I don't want to blow it out of proportion. But the fact that you opened the door and that was her response to it, that should let you know that she did care about that. So at that point, it's nothing to double tap the picture. It's not, you're not losing anything from it, but she's gaining a whole lot from it.
Yep.
I think I'm upset because that matters to her, not because I don't understand it, because that doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? Because I just
that's like the love languages, though.
Yeah.
But how is social media? So social media is a love language now?
It's affirmation.
Yeah, I'm about to say
it's affirmation.
Yeah,
that's an affirmation.
That's crazy to me. I'm sorry. That's just crazy to me.
It's a form of affirmation.
I'm having a hard time with that.
But I think sometimes it's like, yes, we don't like always how social media is and all those things, but we can't deny that it's a thing now.
Yeah, it is.
Sure.
Maybe I'm fighting against the grain.
It is a thing, you know? Yeah. So it's like, even if, and like we said before, I definitely don't think it's for like, oh my God, y'all see my man like my picture. It's not for everybody else. It's like, okay, I'm using this tool that's here that we all use.
That you're on as well.
Right. And this is just another way that my man can affirm me.
And to the point Princess just made, and you don't have to answer this, but she probably sees you on it. Like you're saying it's not a thing, but how often does your screen time match that?
Yeah, because
you said it's not a thing, like you don't understand like what's the thing around social media. It shouldn't be another element that makes you extend, but like does your screen time show that you don't value it?
Got you.
That's what.
No, it does. So it does. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't equate to what I'm saying as far as the value I give to it.
And she sees that, and that's what she's going off of. Like, you ain't no way you didn't see that. And I'm gonna leave it there. All right. Moving along.
Respect. Thank y'all.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. Oh, what you said that to me?
To all y'all. Thank y'all.
Yeah.
All right. This one's for you all, ladies. Ladies. How do y'all go about telling your partner you're losing interest? The catch is we haven't been talking that long, and the person who's making it hard is in close proximity. Not the immediate circle, but within reach. Fuck.
Fuck.
Yo, these are actual DMs. I really cannot wait to hear what y'all say.
So it sounds like this sounds like a work situation. Like it's another coworker.
I didn't. I'm gonna be real. I don't know this person, so I didn't ask a lot of questions. I wasn't comfortable.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. It's either that or a homeboy. I guess
Hold on.
it's one of his homies.
So what? How would y'all go about that though? Like losing interest in somebody is not immediate circle, but they're within reach. How would y'all go about telling your partner that?
That's not her partner, and they haven't been talking that long. So if she's losing interest, then just verbalize that.
Can you pop
Or
out
just
with
let
that
it
person
go.
that's within reach?
It depends on who the person is. Like,
So,
that's
okay.
I'm like, is it
I
a
need- hold on.
homeboy? Is it a coworker? Another coworker? Y'all all work together?
I need some clarity.
Honestly,
So this question is saying, I'm with person A, right? I'm losing
Mhm.
interest in person A because there's a person B, not in the same circle, but they're in reach. Is that what I'm understanding? It's
Of
like,
both.
dang, right?
Yeah.
Both. Okay, I got it now. I got it.
And that's why the person A is losing interest. But excuse me.
Right.
That's why she's losing interest in person A because of person B in close proximity and reach, not immediate circle.
Yeah. I got
Yeah.
you.
See, it's still
bye.
making me feel like it's still somebody that's connected to person A. She's clarifying that it's not his immediate circle, but it's somebody who's still in his circle. So I'm thinking
Like they
it's
go to
not
the same church.
Yeah, it's not the bestie, but it's one of the homies down the line. They all go to the same church. They all work together. Like it's some sort of situation like that. And I mean, if y'all ain't been talking that long, that's not your boyfriend. I think you lost interest and pop out with B.
But
Yeah.
see, I'm partially with y'all because what if I would say the first part, I would tell them I'm not interested, but then I'm not just gonna pop out with person B because what if I'm still just getting to know person B too and that doesn't work out?
So you
Now,
pimping is what you saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying I would tell person A like I'm not interested in you, right? But in my own private time or whatever, I'm still then just gonna get to know person B. I'm not about to pop out with him though. Because what if it doesn't work? That's what
I'm
if it's
not saying
super short
post them
lived?
on. Yeah, I'm not saying post them on
Yeah.
social media, but I'm just saying like just because it's close proximity doesn't mean not to pop out with them when the time comes. But if y'all still in the early stages, then yeah, keep them quiet and get to know and do what you got to do, and then pop out.
She's gonna have to answer some.
I'm not telling y'all nothing. Nothing.
You're not gonna tell person A you're not interested?
Damn.
What are you gonna do, Britt?
He's gonna cut him off.
Hold on, yeah. Hey, Brittany, I'm interested to hear what would you do with that?
I'm not telling you. Like, why do we feel like we owe people an explanation for things? Like, I just, if I'm not talking to you that long, right? Like, I think that's the key is that it's not long enough for me to have to explain myself to you. So I'm not telling you anything. And then if me and B hit it off, okay, then you just see me walking in church with partner B. Like that's just what it is. I don't.
So wait, hold on, Britt. So you're gonna ghost person A. You're just gonna stop communicating altogether and then pop out at the same cookout with person B that they know?
I didn't say ghost you. I didn't say I would. I would. It says
No,
how would you tell them that you're losing interest? I wouldn't.
So that's go. You would just cut them off.
So so what would you do?
No, like y'all ever heard of Drake? There's something to do and there's something to do and there's nothing to do. Like that's exactly how I treat that situation. I wouldn't tell the person that I'm losing interest in them. I just wouldn't do that because of what you just said, Asia, in terms of like, okay, or if you're getting to know person B and their whatever. Like back in my days, my biblical days.
Earth what?
I don't know.
What?
Whatever number comes to mind.
72?
You always keep some money in your back pocket. Like I was always told not to put all your eggs in one basket. So by me doing that, that means that I don't have to tell you that I'm losing interest in you. Like the conversation would just die down a little bit, or I would change it up a little bit. But when I feel like, okay, I'm really canceling myself out of the situation, like I'm no longer interested, not losing interest, but I'm no longer interested in you at all, then we can kind of handle that at that moment. But am I gonna walk to you and say, hey, I'm losing interest Like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Oh, okay. No, I feel you. Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't do that either. I thought you were saying a clean cutoff.
So let me
No,
ask.
I would. I'm still saying something.
I
Only
agree.
because I'm like, if somebody were to do that to me, I would be sick. Like, I would be so sick. I would feel
So,
so like, no, I'm telling them.
really, like, honest question, because they started with ladies. Honest question. I'm not gonna troll for the next 10 minutes. The proximity part don't mean nothing to y'all because y'all weren't talking that long. Like the fact that so when I read this and heard close proximity, like that means like we've probably all three been in a room. Or like we
Right.
all three have done an activity together. I'm asking, like, legitly, that don't mean nothing.
That to me is what
I think it
requires.
means so much.
That to me is what requires the explanation.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Like, it's the not immediate circle for me. So you meaning to tell me we all went on a big trip with other people, and it was some people who were single, some people who were, couples, and this was one of the single people, but this not your like everyday homie.
Mhm.
We were on a vacation together before, but I mean, like,
All right. So you're saying that's okay in that instance, in that regard.
yeah, because I mean, they run in the same circles,
Prince,
but they're not really friends.
Do dudes
Uh-uh.
really care about that? Like, I really want to know. Do dudes really
They
care?
say lady.
We
No,
are
but I'm asking.
but we're territorial. So
Very much so.
so I think we don't care as much about it. We make it known who is on and off limits.
For sure. I'm gonna tell you what
Yeah,
we get.
that
I'm
makes
gonna tell you what we give me.
Mhm.
Obviously, this is against Brittany's philosophy. Like, don't you identify you lose an interest here and you like somebody else. That's completely fine. I can live with that. But like, don't play the game long enough where I'm damn near looking stupid, is what I'm saying. That will probably cause more of a reaction than you actually liking the other person. Meaning, like, I think for me, the thing that I'm really interested in hearing you all say is like, close. Let me backtrack for a second. People really don't understand how much proximity can mess with things.
Mhm.
It could take people that you're not even really interested in and start giving you interest when proximity is very close. So when they say not in the immediate circle but close proximity, it's like, I ain't gonna say I care about it, but like, dang, bro, I ain't heartless. Like, damn, like she invited this girl to the princess scenario. She invited this girl to the trip, and I don't even like you no more because I like her. That's crazy. That's bad. And like, let's quantify time. Oh, y'all been rapping for a month. It change anything?
a month is not.
A month is not long, but I'm still on the close proximity part because it's like, to Princess's example, right? It's like, what if I met person B on that same cruise?
Mhm.
Like in my mind, it's really tripping. It's tripping me out. I think
Right.
I would say something, and I think that the person knows, the person's conflicted. It must be closer proximity because how did they put fuck in here? I feel like they wouldn't have done that if it
Yeah,
wasn't like a dang, like
I think it's
dang.
because of the potential of them all being in the same room again. Like, let's just
Right.
take a trip, for example. It may not have been somebody that the guy she's talking to invited on the trip, but it might be one of the guys who he is actually really close to, like one of his homeboys. So you know what I mean? So like, it may be other functions where like he may be in the same function with that dude solo, and they also might be in other spaces where it's all of them again, because the other dude is connected to old boy's homeboy. So that's the close proximity, but not immediate circle in my mind.
So,
Yeah.
Brittany, question for you: when does
Not
a
question,
conversation
Brittany.
when is a conversation warranted? Because I mean, I get what y'all saying. I agree with both of y'all. Honestly, I think, because I don't, even though I think she's saying that, I don't believe it, but I believe that you all were like, nah, I can't. I gotta let them down. See, this is the thing. I think, as blunt as all y'all are, I think there got to be a level of finesse with this type of letdown. It can't be no straight up like, yeah, forget. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that. So, how much time warrants a explanation?
If we're it depends on how deep we are into our situationship, right? Like if we're just casually talking because we're trying to quote unquote get to know each other, that's where I'm just kind of like I don't need to tell you that. But I feel like if you're actively pursuing me, if we're going on dates, if we're doing things that like if we're I wouldn't even say exclusively dating, but if we're dating, if you will, like if we're taking it to another step, and then I'm out here entertaining somebody else that's in close proximity, then that's when the conversation is warranted, where it's kind of like, yeah, and it's more of a conversation of I'm not feeling this. Like I'm not feeling this. I don't think this is gonna go anywhere. Um, thanks.
Uh,
You know.
yeah. So comment, Johnny said, but once you get older, you don't really want to invest where it's not going anywhere.
What's up, Johnny?
Yeah. So he said you don't really want to invest where things are not going anywhere. I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: if you all were person B, because it's a triangle, if
Mhm.
you all were person B, would y'all feel the need to tell the other person A? Y'all are the person that made the person lose interest in the other. Do y'all feel the need to make that person have a conversation, or you have a conversation? He said, "What up, Lewis?"
Oh, right, because it is close proximity. Because I keep forgetting person A and person B, they're in close proximity.
Yes.
So they really might know each other.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
that's what that honestly, you can't say that wouldn't make that person judge you a little bit. Like if
Yeah.
Yeah.
because the
I
person
feel
you
like
have
a conversation would have to be had. If we're gonna all be, if I choose B and A is still gonna be around, I
Mhm.
feel like a conversation needs to be had. Otherwise, I feel like it's just gonna be awkward. Like, what's the next vacation gonna be like when I'm in the bed with B and I was in the bed with A? Like, that's awkward.
We didn't created a whole
Look at
vacation
Brittany. Brittany,
scenario.
Brett
Brittany about to say
said,
something.
No, that's too much.
That is a lot.
That's too much. Like
you
that,
got to.
huh?
You got yo. So let me ask back to the question. If you're person B and the person's now pursuing you losing an A, how are you handling that? If you're the one that's B, you're not the one making the change, you're the one that's the change is being made to. How are you handling that?
Are you asking like, am I obligated to then go tell A like, yo, this is what it
Or
is?
or curate some type of conversation within you
Just
and
how
that
would
person?
you handle it?
Yeah, how would you handle that?
I don't really know. I think excuse me, it goes back to just kind of defining what the friendships look like. Like how close am I to this person that they need an explanation? That's why I asked y'all, like, how much does it really matter? I guess personal experience, like I've been in a situation where we've all been out in the same circle, and like my friends, let's say, spotted somebody, and then that person ended up coming back full circle to myself. Then and she let it known the whole night, like, I like this guy, I like this guy, I like this guy, I like this guy. And then boom, he's in my DMs, and we actually started dating. Like this, now this man has become my boyfriend. So now I know, sis, you already was attracted to him. I already know where that was, right? We needed to have a conversation, and she is the one. So we, right, was, depending on how close they were, came to each other and had that conversation, like, yo, I was just feeling him. Like, we were not talking, nothing like that. And now he's with me. So this is where it's at. That's the type of conversation that needs to be had. But if you're not close to that person, then, and you just happen to like run into each other, if we're going to youth group, like, I just don't know.
No, I feel that, right? But for me, if I'm B, I'm gonna give the person a chance to have the conversation before I do anything, though. So because they're the one making the change, you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't just, as B, I'm not just gonna go up to A and just start the conversation. I'm gonna tell the person, you need to figure that out, and I would give that person an opportunity first. But to Britt's point, though, I think it does matter, like what is close proximity, because, and I'll even go back to the youth group example, because if you see me, if person A doesn't see me crying and snotting and like repenting for certain stuff, like that's super close. They've seen me in ways that other people have not, and now I'm gonna feel crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I really think it depends on what is a close proximity, though. But I would give the person a chance to talk before I go to A.
Lewis, what's your thoughts, brother? Oh, I'm sorry, Asia. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, I'm done.
Say the last part.
I'm done.
Oh,
I don't have any thoughts. I'm just looking at it as we went on a vacation. We didn't went to church. We didn't been at work.
that's where close proximity happened, though.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
all
And
close proximity.
I don't know, man. I think it does warrant a conversation. I think it is. I think it's man. I don't want to use this word, but it's harsh. I think it's cowardly not
to not tell the
to not
person
have the
that they're losing.
conversation. To not have the conversation.
So I
And
think I'm sorry.
And,
bro.
and the reason why is because it's just a difficult conversation. It's not a mean conversation. It's not like you're doing any harm or wrong to anyone. It's the truth. And I think that you should be comfortable presenting the truth about you and what you want or what you feel like would make you happy. You know what I'm saying? Even if it does hurt someone's feelings, you can't control that.
So the one thing from it stood out was losing. So that means there was interest, right? So I'm not a person of time, like meaning if I'm gonna use it in a friend scenario. If I've known a friend for 5 years, doesn't mean if I meet somebody in 3 months, we can't be cooler type vibe. Like I'm not going to use time as the reason to say or not say something, right? So the fact that somebody was out here, I had interest and I lost it. And the thing is that we're not talking about is how do you control, like the interest loss came from somebody else. You seeing somebody else. The interest, it wasn't like you lost interest. From how I read it, it wasn't like you lost interest and then person B popped up. You were all in on A. We were vibing. Person B done came around in close proximity a couple times. Like, damn, what's up, person B? That's different. That ain't the same type scenario. If you lost interest in then person B, the way I read it is person B is causing the interest causing your interest to be lost from person A.
What's wrong with that?
But can someone do that though?
Yeah.
Can someone really cause you to lose interest in someone? Maybe you weren't really that interested in that person to begin with.
So okay, go ahead, Princess. You
Not necessarily. It depends on like the amount of effort that person B is giving.
For sure.
Like they could be doing things and doing more than person A, even though initially you were interested in person A, but if person B comes along and they doing a lot more and you got more interest in them, then that's where your interest is going to go.
And I get what you're getting at, Lewis, but I also think that like your eyes got to be open for it too, right?
Yeah, I guess that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. But in context, bro, if it's early dating stage and you are dating early, like your eyes ain't really closed yet. So you can have just as much interest here and then somebody come, I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? Because I'm gonna tell you, bro, like this is a conversation I had this week. Flirting has really got a little like, we gotta get some common understanding on flirting, man, in the adult world. Because I don't think we know what message that sends. It's just, oh my gosh. Okay, let's go here with it. Johnny said that's dating in general. The average person is talking to 3 different individuals in the beginning stage.
That's true for a lot of people.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's how you choose.
That's right.
A lot of headaches, bro. There's a lot of headaches, bro. I'm sorry.
That's how you say you do it without saying you do it. That's true for a lot of people, including me.
No. We talked about this. No, I'm just saying it's true for a lot of people.
Okay, so when I met my wife, I'm gonna use my example. She was like, "Oh, I only talk to people one at a time, right?" I didn't care. I still apply pressure because it wasn't me. Okay, cool, right? Is it really? Can you really get to know somebody the way you need to when you're doing it all 3 ways? We grown. We ain't talking about college dating. We talking about at this age dating with life and people sticking and moving. Can you really get to know these 3 people on the same level with the same intent at the beginning? 3 different. I'm asking. I'm really asking.
Yeah, I think you can.
It's a lot of work, but you can.
Hey, I'm not talking about pimp Brittany. I'm talking about now. I'm not talking about pimp Brittany. I'm talking about now. Like where life sticking. I ain't talking about Earth seems like 2 through 99. I'm saying like I don't know. I just feel
I think you can
weed themselves out.
Yeah, and I do think it's different. I think it's different for men and women, and I know we don't like talking like that, but
It is.
in the I'll say the traditional way of dating, right? Men are the ones that they're putting out in the traditional way, Lewis. That's what I said, okay? But men are typically the ones that are showering the women and that are doing a little bit more work in the beginning stages. So sometimes, like for a woman, it's like, okay, I have to think about what I'm gonna wear, like those types of things. But I'm really trying to figure out, especially for women, sometimes like who's showing up more right now.
Who's consistent?
Who's coming correct? So I think you can know, as a woman, you can have that rotation and you get to know them, but it's really like, how do the men show up and present themselves, and what's the consistency like?
Yep.
What does that look like? I just
Johnny, I'm not saying that on stream, bro. Just so you know, I'm not saying that.
Oh boy.
Johnny's a fool. Hey, Johnny's the reason why I met my wife, by the way, just for context.
Hey, look what he just said. Bro. Sneak, I hooked you and Britt as well as Lewis and his wife up, and neither one of y'all Negroes named y'all kid. I'm out of here, man. I'm out of here, bro. I'm out of here. He literally
kick him out of here. Kick him out.
Yeah, bro. I'm out, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry, bro. Like, what?
But what does that look like? What does consistency look like for you all? How does someone separate themselves? Because one thing that my wife told me, I always ask him, like, hey, what separated me from everyone else? And
desperation.
Come on now. Don't do that. Don't do that, player.
It ain't right.
I'll take it.
Go ahead, bro. My fault. I had to. You threw me up.
But because I'm like, it's a lot of dudes calling, right? It's a lot of dudes offering. It's a lot of dudes offering to do all the things that I felt like I was doing. You know what I mean? I feel like the stimulating conversation was different. My goals and what I wanted out of life was different at the time. And I don't put pressure on it, and I'll just leave it at that. It is exactly what you think it is. I don't put pressure on that type of stuff because it'll come. That's the way I look at it. So what is consistency? Because to me, I don't feel like I did anything any differently than what every other guy would do.
But how consistent were you doing whatever it was that you was doing? Or do you think that every guy was doing it just as consistently as you were? The phone calls, the seeing her,
that
showing
was a great
up.
counterexample. Okay.
I don't know.
Because you're assuming that.
Yeah, maybe I am. But I wasn't putting pressure on it. You know what I mean? I'm just like every now and then, like every other day, or if we go out on a date, that next morning. You know what I'm saying? Or
true transparency though, Louis, you was putting in work though. See, I think the difference of what you're saying, what you're trying to get at, I think without context, people don't know what type of person you are. So your regular smuggler, maybe you're a consistent person in general. So your regular may be consistent.
Got you.
So a lot of other people's regular may not be consistent. Right. So you may not be going crazy, but like you as a person are consistent. You do the same things. You can expect this. Right. So that could be the drawing factor that took.
Right.
It may not be nothing crazy that you did, but your normal was better than the average or what she was dealing with elsewhere.
Right.
And I look better than everybody else too. Let's just throw that.
And I'll just say this part. Like let's say for you, Louis, like you would make plans with her and then you would follow through on them. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah,
let's say like you would. A lot of people do
That's
that.
Crazy.
Or let me take you out, and then they don't make the plans, right? They leave it up to us to make all the plans. Like, and these are real things that men do, Or it's like, okay, go out to dinner, and they say, okay, I'll call you later, and then they don't call later. They call you in a week from that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the things, because we talked about this before. Women want to feel safe and safe with their emotions. So it's like, okay, if I know I can count on him to actually do what he says he's going to do, then I know he can be a man about his.
Wow.
And that's consistency.
That's good.
That's something I'm going to teach my son, because I would assume that you would know that already. So that's something I'm keeping in the back of my mind. I wouldn't assume people would do those type of things.
I'll tell you something I was same type of consistency, but it was after we got together. I used to think thought mattered, right? I never forget this. My son is only 3, and this happened when 2 months after he was born. Real transparency moment. My wife's birthday, we went and got a cottage in the mountains. Everybody came through, turn up. It was her birthday. She wanted to do COVID. It was COVID, so that September, y'all know it was still a little crazy. So we had close people, whatever. And she wanted to do a 90s themed birthday party in the mountains. And I had bought her another Apple Watch, right? And when I had bought it, some things happened with the shipping. They had to refund me, and I was just like, it's too much. Well, I didn't, because I actually went through the notion of like, oh well, she'll understand because I did try to get it type shit. I thought that was okay, right? And you know, she obviously rightfully so cussed me out. Like, what is that? We had a conversation. It wasn't really good for me. And what she said was, and I had a habit of thinking because I said it and I was thoughtful in my verbiage, it mattered.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, you better off not saying shit.
Mm-hmm.
Hold
And
on.
I
So
was
what
like,
was the problem?
There was no
because
follow through. The watch didn't. The watch
she was like, what watch do I have? I
Yeah.
don't care that you thought about it. I don't care that they got canceled. I don't care that you got, like, what watch do I have on my wrist right now? I don't care that you went through all that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But it's a thing. It's a thing, Lewis, about like, don't get my hopes up.
for sure.
That's what it is, and that's another thing with consistency, right? So it's like I was better off not knowing that I had something coming my way, and it's not here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got my hopes up. I was super excited. I'm talking to my girls about this watch they about to see on my, my wrist, and now it's not here. Whereas if I never had that expectation, I wouldn't have been let down.
I got you.
It's more so like, don't let me get let down.
Did you get the watch though?
So
after he got out.
I felt, if I'm being real with y'all, in the moment, it was a very tough spot in our marriage. So in the moment, I felt justified. For real. I'm not being funny. It wasn't right, but I'm being honest. Like I was like, it was a lot going on, so I just kind of argued it down, if I'm being real. But I will say what it taught me. Free game in minute, 61. Now I don't even talk about gifts. I just get them whenever. So now she don't know when they coming. So now it's like, you get them. I ain't even got to say nothing. I'll surprise. And gifts aren't always big. But what I didn't realize was, back to the conversation of consistency, what bothered me the most is that the pedestal on which she held my word on, I couldn't lose that. So I had to stop thinking about like how I felt about it. But when you value my word that much, I'm like, damn, I can't let my word not mean nothing to her.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to realign myself with what the mission was, and was like, you know what? When I'm feeling thoughtful, I don't care how inconvenient it is, I do it in that moment, because I don't have to work. Because thoughtfulness as dudes, as men, hey, appreciate you, Johnny. Appreciate you, bro. Thoughtfulness as men, we think a lot about thoughtful things. Then you get home and you get stressed out and you let it go. But what I realized, if you in the every time you go to the grocery store, every other run, flowers. Cake, the dessert, that's everything that we think of thoughtfulness. Just do it when you're thinking. And that will save you a lot.
Good tip.
Yeah, like, and if you do it while you're thinking of it, it always usually works out for you. Because another thing I did, I'll do now, some more game. Birthday presents had to be a surprise. Now I'm more like, okay, here's your 3 top choices. Any of them could happen. You pick which one you want to do. That way, but I've already mapped out how to do all of them. I don't, in the past, I'm like, hey, you want this, that, and the third? If you do this, then we can't. It's not like that. I'm thoughtful and I think, okay, these are the things you want to do, right? I don't know which one you want the most, so I'm going to tell you and allow you to pick. So that was my issue with consistency, my word matching my actions. And I learned I got a better version of her when I stopped talking so much and just did.
Yes.
And that come with being older, but like, if I don't want to be dishonest, but like, well, you know, when that money tight once upon a time, but them gifts go to the backside sometimes. But you be like, hey man, gifts or that light bill, you understand me? but now that I'm not in that space personally no more, I value the way she feels about me, feeling about her. So back to the point earlier on the date, it's not about you saying it, it's about your wife feeling like you want her. About the picture on social media.
Yeah, stop bringing it up.
My bad. Any more thoughts on that? This shit is crazy.
No.
Hey, Keenan, you dropping gems tonight, man. That's dope stuff.
Yep.
You know, I don't like to go in the marriage bag a lot, but I do feel like I know a lot because I've learned and grown up a lot in that arena. I've grown up the most in that arena. So I appreciate that, Lewis. Last one. Can I find it? Okay, all right, here it is. All right, what up? How do y'all feel about when people use the past against you when it's convenient, but any other time they're cool with how things go. Everything is always cool, but as soon as I require something, I get things held over. I get things held over my head.
Mm.
Okay, therapist, head shake.
Mhm.
Just
Thoughts? We ain't got no thoughts.
That's unfair, man. If you require, I think if you're in a relationship, regardless of what you've done, you can still have requirements of someone, right? Just because you made a mistake doesn't mean you're not given the opportunity to require something of someone. So that's unfair, man. I don't feel like that person should be in a relationship.
yeah.
The person that continuously holds the
Holds
things
it
over
over
their
their
head.
head.
Yeah, they should be in a relationship because it's still going to be compromised, right? That's what a relationship is. Just
So
because someone did something wrong doesn't mean you hold it over them and then that becomes more of your way than the other person. That's
Right.
not what it is.
So do you believe that? Can you tell people how long they can hold on to something you did to them?
Nope. But no, I can't tell you that how long you can
I
hold on to
agree,
something.
but I'm
But-
comparing it to what. Okay, go ahead and say what you about
So
to say,
the
bro.
thing is, you have to forgive me, and forgiveness is really for you. It ain't for me, right? And you have to be in a position to either accept, because you have, in order to forgive, you got to accept what happened,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you have to give me the opportunity to build that trust again for whatever it is that occurred. And if you're truly giving me the opportunity, then you have to see me as an equal in this. I'm not beneath you because I made a mistake. And it doesn't seem like this person is looking at them as that or giving them an opportunity to do that.
Ladies, do y'all have an opinion on that? I'm assuming this is a woman. No offense, y'all.
Why?
Wait, you mean you thought it was a woman that wrote this?
No, the one that's holding the stuff.
Oh,
I agree with Lewis. I think it's unfair. I think you're in a place where don't hold my past against me, right? Like if we moved past something, and you throw it back up in my face when it's convenient, quote unquote, for you, that just shows me one, levels of maturity. Like what are we really doing? Because that's
sure.
super whack and immature. The other part of that is like how many times are you going to keep doing this? If I strike a nerve every single time and your only defense is to throw something about my past in my face instead of communicate your thoughts and feelings in that current moment around it, then we got a bigger issue than this. This isn't about me. This is about you and you needing to do some self-work within yourself on how to, effectively let go or whatever that looks like for you. It's not necessarily about me anymore. I couldn't be with somebody like that. And I'm with Lewis on this one in terms of like that person should not be with anybody either. Until they figure out like I don't know until they find out like what it is that they're looking for. Because for me, it's kind of like if I'm in an argument, first of all, I don't like sarcasm as it is. I feel like sarcastic people need a slap in the face. So if you and when you and
Look at Ace like I'm sarcastic.
Yeah, everyone is sarcastic. Everyone
No. I just feel like sarcasm and I say this because Lord, I'm not about to tell
Y'all gonna have a conversation after y'all get off tonight.
Brittany don't even like us. Damn.
for real, dang.
Crazy.
when you
Tell them how you really feel.
sarcastic
Or
people tend to bring up in arguments. They tend to do things like this. They have patterns of this. For me, in my experience, let me say that, right? And they bring up the past in a very sarcastic
way. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I know what it means.
And
so she don't like you neither, then, Lewis.
that doesn't fly well.
No, she's saying like, "Hey, well,
I know,
you
man.
you,
I know.
yeah.
I'm trolling.
You sure you want to go out tonight?
See, he done did.
Like that's the stuff you're talking about.
Give another example, Lewis.
I'm like, oh, you do like red. You do like red, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Crazy.
think
Mhm.
I feel like with this, the person that's holding it over the other person's head, they're punishing that person.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's the first thing. So they're in a relationship where they're constantly being punished. And the part that I don't like about it is because the person that's also holding it over their head is a manipulator.
Yeah,
For sure.
That's the part that I don't even trust people that manipulate, because at that point, because what this person said is everything is always cool, but as soon as I require something, so it's like they're using an excuse to not actually do their role or whatever their role actually is. They're not taking care of their partner and whatever that looks like. And so, and it sounds like because they're just punishing them, you know, and that's the part that it's like, then why are you still here? And then the reason why they're probably still there, the one that's a manipulator, is to punish that person. If they're getting their lick back.
So
like, period.
So Johnny, bro, I need you to confirm if you want me to put that on screen, brother. Confirm that for me.
Johnny need to go to bed.
He do, bro. He like this next one is a little, you know what I'm saying? But Asia, to your point, you know what I really and people have done this, even though it may not be my past or anything I've done to them, but their past and whatever they feel about, you know, things that happen between us. To your point, I don't like when people weaponize their emotions or weaponize their pain. Meaning like because something has hurt me, because the world, my dad, my mom, this person, I'm going to make sure everybody else feels that same level of pain. Like we can't progress past certain points because I was hurt before. So I got to leave that same level of hurt for everybody else. That's what I don't like about this. And I think, I know we had a conversation a long time ago about struggle love, and I don't really believe in it. I don't. But I always ask, like, that is probably one of, depending on the level of betrayal, it's so hard to figure out when somebody's really forgiving you. You know what I mean? Like, because we can't rush that process, right? We want to be here, but we also got to be open that we hurt them and we're trying to move forward. So I think a lot of times what we should do in these instances is like people be trying to be together and figure it out at the same time, and that ain't always good. I think sometimes you gotta allow space mentally and physically to get through that. Johnny, I'm gonna put it out up here because you put it on here. Lord have mercy. I feel.
Oh my God, Johnny! Oh my God. At least use a different name.
Yo. Okay.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Hey, smooth, bro. That's a bit aggressive, man. That's aggression level a little high right there.
It was just she was stressing me out.
Yeah. Lord.
You could have just said your girlfriend. You have to say the.
Hey, look, the thing. It wasn't one. How LeBron do it, Miami? Not one, not two, not three. Like, why you say a few times?
That's
say it happened.
And then he said he got caught. Yeah, we knew that, man.
Yeah, but like he's saying she kept bringing it up, but like, was he trying to do better?
No, he wasn't, because he said
was the fact that he kept getting caught stressing him out, so he left.
Yeah. Yo, man, I mean,
because it's different if he was trying to do better and change his ways after the last time. And you know, she was just continuously holding it over his head.
Yeah. So
I'm not commenting on that. Kenan, you got to learn how to save people from themselves, man.
I asked. Did y'all not hear me ask?
Yeah. Did he respond?
No, but me and Johnny.
See?
He told me I should have named my kids after him. I had a petty moment.
Fucking Jerry Springer, boy.
Yeah, no. Lewis, first of all, hey, look, and then guess what he follow up with? I won't deal with that.
All right.
Yo, so this is the thing. Outside of Johnny's scenario, I think cheating can't really be. Yo, Lewis, stop, man. Cheating can't be in that category. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're in a place now. Cheating just means end the relationship. Don't work through it. Don't be understanding. Don't try to justify it. Don't talk about it. Just end the relationship. If somebody cheats emotionally, mentally, social media cheating, whatever it is, just end the relationship. I don't think we're in places where people can come back. We're not too trusting anyway. And like I put a poll up the other day. It ties into this perfectly. And I was shocked by it. I said, can you trust someone and still not put anything past them? And everybody was like, that's not trust.
You cannot put anything past any human being.
Right.
Right.
And I trust a lot of people, but I
trust a lot of people. Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on that? trusting somebody but not putting anything past them.
People are human. We are designed. We are flawed. All of us are flawed.
For
People
sure.
will fail you.
Yeah. So people will disappoint you. Even your wife. I'll trust my wife, but she's disappointed me in certain ways. I didn't think she would. It didn't have to be cheating, but I had a certain expectation of her in a certain area, and if she didn't meet it, it hurt me, and vice versa, right? But it doesn't mean she can't trust me in other ways. That's just a part of our nature as human beings.
And ourselves. I think.
And ourselves,
We have to acknowledge the fact that like we can't put nothing past ourselves. We can talk all we want to about like what we wouldn't do in a certain situation until it actually happens to us.
Right.
Like when you're staring at it in the face, it's like, damn, I said I wouldn't do this, and you find yourself doing it. Right. It doesn't mean that you didn't trust yourself enough to be in that, but when it happens, like Lewis was saying, we're human. Like things happen, and then we look the other way.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I got a text. I'm not gonna say that about the text. Nah. So I think an argument that I had with somebody off that poll was that I think that I think nobody has absolute trust anymore. I think we trust people, but as like Lewis said, being flawed, I don't know. People do shit, man. I just think you got to decide what shit you're gonna live with. I think a lot of people make decisions and mean like, if somebody gonna cheat, not to you, Johnny, but like if somebody gonna do that, you gotta be like, I'm gonna live with it. Not try to get caught, but you gotta live with what happens if you get caught. And I don't think we think that through. Like we think about the fun or whatever we're about to do versus living with what happens afterwards when we get caught. And not to shift the conversation. That's like I'm tired of the accountability talk now because people are like, oh, you gotta take accountability. Oh, well, I did it. That is not accountability. Accountability is dealing with the shit that happens because you did it.
Because you did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
But we ain't got always equate trust to like cheating. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the things that I would trust you to do as what I'm expecting you could be financially. It could be maturity. It could be how you handle situations. It doesn't necessarily have to be intercourse with someone else, like a breach of that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to just be that.
I'm gonna tell you the issue, bro. And I know we ain't gonna answer this honestly. We can't because we can't. But trust ain't what we portray. Trust is when you ask something and that thought you have after you asked. Like the stuff that doesn't make it out your mouth. Like if I ask you to do something, again, not cheating. If I ask you to do something, I'm second guessing it and thinking like, damn, or I'm micromanaging, or I'm looking for you to do it. I'm looking for them. That means you don't trust them. Let's take it out of context. It's like if you say, hey, clean up the bathroom downstairs. I clean the bathroom. When you come home and go in the bathroom and like, nigga, what can you tell me to clean it for? If you tell somebody, hey, make sure that light bill paid, and then you log in the account on the pay date to make sure it's like, that's not trust. And I think we think because we don't let that person know that we don't trust them, that we're presenting true trust, and that's not what we're doing. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
No, I agree. I can even use the example of like kids, right? Like when you have children with the dads, shout out to all the dads out there. But for me anyway, it took a long time for me to trust my husband with our child. And it's not because he was not capable to do those things, but it's like, okay, if the baby's sick and the doctor told you to give them 2.5 mLs at 5:00, right? And I'm out. I have to then trust that he's going to do that at 5:00, but I'm still picking up the phone, calling you saying, hey, did you do it? Did you do it? And then when I get home, I'm checking to see like, okay, this is how much I left. Like, oh, okay, he really did do it. So I mean, I 100% agree with you, Keenan, in terms of like that follow-up. It takes time to get there, to kind of build that trust or to understand what that trust really looks like with whomever you're with.
But then how do you actually build trust though? Because to what Keenan is saying, right? We don't ever fully trust, right? So it's like, what are you actually? Do you fully ever build trust, or do you just lay a couple bricks down? Like
if you're doing that every time, I get what he's saying, but even like to Bridget's scenario, I think you can do that maybe the first few times you have, or you set an expectation of someone, and if they meet it, then you stop, and then that trust is there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's how you build trust. We have a saying at my job: trust but verify, right? So we trust but verify, and then until someone has demonstrated that competency, then you let them go. You know what I'm saying? And then you can trust that they've done it.
Right. And it's also a thing to trust people in certain areas, but not trust them 100%. Like to Brittany's point about the medicine. If you came home and every time like you notice like, oh, okay, he said he did it, but he really didn't do it, then you would probably just never fully trust him in that area because he's proven himself over and over again to not do it. Some people, like for example, I have a friend, and when we go on trips, I can't trust that she's gonna do what she needs to do with it. So I have to like double check behind her. Like, hey, did you book your room? Hey, you sure you did these dates? Because I don't trust that she's gonna book the correct dates. I don't trust that she's gonna book the correct resort. And she knows that like that area of our friendship, I don't trust her. So like I kind of micromanage that situation. So I think in a lot of areas we're not gonna trust people 100%. But majority, can you trust them majority of the time? Yes.
And Princess, I like that you specified that area and not like you don't trust her altogether, but it's like this thing I don't do because I ain't gonna lie, like so I could clean, right? And at first me and my wife used to have arguments of like straightening up versus cleaning up. Like when we first got together, right? She was like, every time I used to be like, yo, I cleaned up, she'd be like, no, you straightened up, but it's cool. So you know, after some training, she's like, this how you do it, that. Boom, I bet. Like now, at the beginning, I used to get so pissed off when she used to come back, like early 20s, early 23, 24, 20. I'm like, bro, because it makes me, if you don't trust me, don't let me feel like you don't trust me. Like, check it when I'm not there. Don't check it in front of me. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like, don't see, Princess, that you see, I saw the, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't just bust in the house and go straight to the bar. Okay. I don't even care about the compliment no more. Don't do that. Like, let me go off and you go look. You know what I'm saying?
Wait till you go to sleep.
Something. But because what people don't realize when you're building trust back with somebody, it's very fragile for them to fall inward. So say if I was sensitive about the cleaning and she kept tapping on me like that, I'm like, damn, like, what the fuck is it though? But in reality, I'm cleaning well, but she just don't trust that it's clean. I'm like, so then I'm gonna start thinking like, damn, like what the fuck I ain't do? What you about to say, Lewis?
Nothing. I'm just laughing. I mean, these conversations. I think these are normal conversations for people who cohabitate.
Yeah, but now I'm big on that. Like, and I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna go left. I learned a new trigger like last month, bro. I hate when somebody tells me I didn't say something or do something versus them saying I don't remember.
Yeah, we heard about that.
To 10,000. And it feel like it keep happening after I figured out it was a trigger. Like, yo,
maybe looking for it.
Yo, but I don't know why. And it's only things that I know I've said. Like say if I call Lewis, he missed my call. You ain't call me. Bro, say I ain't see it. Don't say I ain't call you. It throw me off, bro. I'm sorry. I had a moment, bro. Nigga told me that yesterday. We started arguing.
Why do you arguing about? Hey, real quick. So why do you argue about things you know are true? Why do you have to argue for your truth if you know it's to be
what
true?
It is? I'll tell you why. This is bad, but I'm being super honest. I am so intentional and diligent with communication that when somebody tells me I didn't do something, and I make sure all the people that are around me need what they need, feel like you like challenging my character, damn near challenging my integrity. I'm not lying. I'm being real because I think that much of the people I need to talk to or who I need to communicate with. When you do that, I'm like, yo, bro, like, no, I get life is fast, but I'm to the point, bro. I schedule out text messages.
Right. Does that invalidate? But the intention you placed on it, does that invalidate their inability to recognize that? Does that invalidate your ability to communicate?
Inability to recognize what?
Their inability to recognize how great of a communicator you are. Does that minimize how great of a communicator you are?
Oh no, hell no.
Then why does it matter?
Because sometimes you gotta have moments where people just gonna hear you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't about no positivity in the moment. You got to,
I agree.
And it's never it's things like this scenario. Oh God, I'm not gonna go too crazy in it. It's things like this. It's not the everyday things. It's when we've been communicating about something on and on and on, week in, week out. The moment comes. This is a very important moment. We've mapped this out. We've talked about it. We've done all these things. You do something that messes it up, and then go say, "Bro, you ain't say that." I'm like, oh. Like, don't fucking tell me I didn't tell you that. Because in this moment, when it needs to be executed or when we need to do something, don't do that. Because we've been talking about it all week. Say you don't remember because we've been doing this over. That's what gets me. It depends on the level, how important the plan is, and the level of energy I put into it. That's what matters to me more than somebody thinking I'm not a good communicator. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't remember though. Some people have selective amnesia. They
That's
don't
not
remember.
But
But
saying
that's
they
not what
won't
you're
own
saying.
it. They won't own it. They don't.
But Keenan is saying then they should just say that.
Yeah, they'll discredit
that I
him
don't
before
remember.
they take ownership. They'll discredit
I
him
see.
before they take
Okay.
ownership.
Yeah, don't tell me I didn't tell you. Say, oh man, my bad. I ain't remember. I forgot. I respect that. Don't be saying I ain't say it though.
Mm-hmm.
You know-
or I didn't read it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I had to literally stop doing that, and stuff happening at my job. That was getting stressful, and I had to get to a point to where I realized like, if this is who I am, or if I know I've done these things, and someone tries to come behind me and say I didn't, if I continuously try to give energy to someone for something that I know is not true,
Yeah.
who am I trying to convince?
Mhm.
Because if I already know what's happening, what I am, right, and what I've done, and that person is obviously not going to acknowledge it or recognize it, then who am I trying to convince by putting that energy into it? Just be it.
Yeah, for sure. Paul, I agree with you. Paul Jackson, I agree with the second thing you said.
What Paul talking about?
This is both. So this is the first thing he said. He said 5 minutes in the microwave sometimes sound like 2 minutes. I'm just saying. Then he came back and said, I should have said, oh my bad. I thought you said 5 minutes instead of 2 minutes, according to my selective hearing. I don't know who Paul is, but like, yeah. Like, you should have. I agree. Like, yeah. Like, that's exactly what should have happened. And I think it comes down to, I'm not going to get into intent. But Lewis, I received the fact that if they don't get it, it does not disqualify how good or bad of a communicator I am.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody got their stuff they working through. And right now, that's my thing. That's just truthful. That's my wholehearted thing.
Nothing wrong with that, brother.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, man, thank y'all for tuning into another segment of the Monday Night Crew. It's your boy K. Mims. I got Brittany Lewis, Princess in Asia. Only spot you get authenticity and entertainment. We are out.